What's up, dudes? It's Chad here at Tenterden Trout Water. It's about mid-February. I'm here getting myself a fresh coffee. So I'm boiling the kettle over there. I'm here in the lodge. Just about opening time, 8:30. As you can see, lovely, flat, calm conditions out there. I'm here with my 10-foot custom rod, black damsel and 2 bloodworm. I'm going to make my way down to Lake 3 when this is boiled and I've got my coffee on the go, and let's see how the sport performs today. So here we go, guys. I always check the catch returns book. There's been a couple of blanks and a couple of people catching fish on Lake 3. Always good to check the catch returns book, but you are reliant on people filling in the information. I've seen quite a few people leave this venue without filling it in, so it's kind of only half the story, but it's always good to see what people have done. I've got my Contigo mug with Nescafe toffee nut latte in, and this is really cool, these kind of travel mugs. They keep your drink warm for a good sort of few hours. There you go. I'm so impatient I couldn't even let it boil properly. And yeah, it's still winter, so it's nice to have a hot drink. That'll probably do it, and I'll put a bit of milk in that because it's going to be like the centre of the earth. It'll be like drinking magma in this thing. It'll literally take my face off. You know, when you were a kid, you used to drink cocoa and it'd like take the inside of your mouth out. In these hot travel mugs, you know, it doesn't really cool down, so I put a little bit of milk in that, and I'm ready to go. Here we go. Okay, guys. Glad to say you can see a little bit of a ripple down there. I never like to fish any venue when it's absolutely dead calm. I always have a tough day when there's no breeze at all. This place, I find about 10 mile an hour wind is perfect. When you start getting sort of up to your 20s and stuff, it becomes quite difficult. So here's my custom rod from Anti-Banting, 10-foot 7 weight. I've got my special black damsel there, size 12. I had quite a few takes here on that last time. It's a session I didn't record. I've got a pink apps on the middle and a yellow apps on the top. I'm the only angler here today, it would appear. So there's only one thing left to do, and that's sing "Don't Worry About a Thing." Barry Big Plum's fishing, it's gonna be alright. Onwards and upwards. Bit hard to read where the wind's blowing here, but as usual when I walk down, my droppers are in a triple reef grinner knot around my rod eyes, so I'll quickly sort that out and very quietly make my way up to the water's edge and see what we can see. There's a little bit more colour in the water than last time. We've had a bit of rain, but it shouldn't be too bad. Let's see what happens. So I've got some nice easy to see flies, that black damsel and a couple of bloodworm. Let's put a cast out. Okay. Tenterden is one of those venues I do actually recommend, if you're able to kind of beef up your rod a little bit to a 6 or 7 weight, because it does make your day a little bit easier, especially if the wind's howling down here. It's been an absolute nightmare trying to get your cast out with a 5 weight outfit sometimes. So a 7 weight I think is sometimes a better option. So it's one of those difficult times of year, you don't know what to really wear because the mornings are still really bitterly cold, but the when it gets sort of 10 o'clock it actually warms up significantly. This rod from Andy Banting is an absolute joy to cast, guys. Really is a pleasure, especially with the Red River line as well. They're kind of custom made for the taper. It's just zero effort, absolutely zero effort. I mean, not the most delicate in the world, but if I want delicate I'll be using my 5 weight. When you're out here with a 7 weight like I am, or an 8 weight, you're not really going to be trying to cast size 16 midges to a sipping brownie. You're going to be firing teams of flies, fabs, or you know, chunky lures or snakes or things on sort of a 7 weight. That's going to be your main tactic. Yeah, this rod is very nice, Mr. Banting. Thank you very much. And I've got my midge tip line on me and my intermediate line. I'm not going to bother with anything above sort of a fast intermediate at 2 inches per second. You know, sometimes I could use a die free here maybe, but I think with a long leader and an intermediate can cover most eventualities at Tenterden. I don't know. I will probably go over that side, guys. I think that's probably going to be my best bet, but I'm just searching a bit of the water over here and seeing what happens. Right in that far corner there's quite a bit of movement. I can't tell if it's carp or trout, but there's definitely a lot of movement over there, so it's the first visual indication I've had today of any movement. So I think I might get my bum over there and chuck some casts out anyway, because to be fair the wind is kind of carrying that direction anyway. And we'll see what we can see. Right, let's wind this in, get my coffee, and make it across to Precarious Dam. I'm sure sometimes by the power of my wonderful editing software here on my iPad, it sometimes seems like I always have a real screaming, rod bending, barn burning session on the bank. I can assure you, just as a regular dude like all of you guys watching this video, that is definitely not the case. I have my tough days and I have my blanks as well as everyone else does. I also have good sessions too, don't get me wrong, but they are mixed in with the odd tough session here and there. This session at Tenterden was definitely a tough day for me. Lake 3 seemed really difficult. I tried multiple different lines, midge tip, intermediate, floating. I tried lures, I tried damsels. Unfortunately, my favourite black damsel I caught on last time, I lost on the back cast on the bank. I couldn't find it. I even tried buzzers, you know, drifting around buzzers on a washing line and standard straight line buzzering when I could see fish moving. I could not crack the code today on Lake 3. What is important to me is the fact that I did try multiple different things. I moved lots, multiple densities of line and different tactics. I think that's important, even if you have a tough session in your blank. If you can look back at your session and say, I did everything I can do to kind of hit those fish and get the tactics right, then
at least you've got no regrets from that side, from your point of view. No venue is ever going to be absolutely on fire every single session that you go there. It could be, there's a lot of catch and release at the venue and it's due a stocking. The fish could be focused on one type of food which you haven't quite nailed. You know, the air pressure could be wrong. There's so many different things that can affect a day's fishing. You know, it's called fishing, not catching. But as long as you can look back with no regrets and say that you've done everything in your power to catch a fish, then that's a good day's angling from my point of view.
It's about midday, guys, 12:30 actually. I'm thinking about a bit of lunch. I've had no luck today. I've moved around a lot. I've even tried buzzers, bloodworm, sinking, intermediate line, floating line. I can't crack the code today. So sometimes lakes 1 and 2 have saved a blank for me. So I'm up here on my double Montana setup. And I'm going to have a little play in lakes 1 and 2. But I haven't been able to crack the code on lake 3 today. It's been quite challenging. But sometimes it's pretty good here. Morning. Sheep there grazing the grass. Okay. So yeah, I've really done my best, guys, but I've not had a very successful morning. But this lake has saved a blank for me a few times. So I've got 2 Montanas on, one on the dropper and a tail Montana there. So I'm just gonna have to scare the fish that was there. Nice one, Chad. You knob. It's nice, quiet, and we'll see. Just coming up here, fishing the margins. So I've got 2 Montana on, and in honesty, with Tenterden Trout water, if you don't know what fly to use, you can't really go too far wrong with Montana. They're so effective here. So let's just start with some slightly closer casts here. But I suppose the one thing I would say about Tenterden is it is very dependent on water clarity. And it's also one of them fisheries where everybody fishes the third lake. You very rarely see people on these other 2. So if there's been quite a few fish on catch and release in lake 3, and they're due a stocking, sometimes it can be worth having a little chuck here in lakes 1 and 2, because these are much less pressured bits of water. I know they're more intimate and they're smaller, but they are much less pressured than lake 3. Lake 3, whenever I come here, there's people fishing lake 3. Yeah, what's my favourite crisps? Spicy knickknacks, steak favourite koi. It might be my favourite now, and I suppose the hump what's it is something that's quite nice as well. Big fan of beef jerky and biltong, things like that, but spicy knickknacks. Oh no, actually I've missed the king of crisps. I don't know why I'm talking about this, it's probably because I haven't caught a fish yet. The king of crisps, pickled onion monster munch. There will be no better. As a dude, I thought I had a pool then. Do I have a pool? What's at the bottom? Will forever be a mystery, folks. Yeah, king of crisp pickled onion monster munch. Literally my last couple of casts, guys. In lake 1, on a kick-ass damsel. The black and green. Would you Adam and Eve it? I did say that I've had my blank saved a few times by this lake. I did actually bump one in lake 2, which you didn't see on camera. Ooh. It was going pretty well. I went and got my lunch, and I pulled out my sage because I wanted to go with a lighter rod for the end of my session, for the last sort of 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Ooh. But as you've seen in another video, guys, I have said it's always worth checking out lakes 1 and 2, because I've had my blank saved a couple of times by these lakes. The kick-ass damsel gets me a take again, guys. Very nice. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I literally was just about to go home. It's putting up a good performance, this fish. Cool. Oh, got brambles on my bloody net. Oh, off you get. That's a nice looking fish. There we go, we're in. Oh, that's actually quite a nice fish, guys. Okay, anything in? What I can do is actually destroy my kick-ass damsel. Let's try and release this fish. Oh. There we go. Well, there it is, guys, a kick-ass damsel without the tentacles. Let's get this fish back in the water. Oh. And he's off. Wow. Kick-ass damsel does it again.
There you go, guys. Really happy to get that fish there at the end in Lake 1. The owners of Tenterden are always telling people to try and fish Lakes 1 and 2 because they're much less pressured than Lake 3. And it has saved the day for me so many times, especially that first lake by the house. I just sit there, I have a cup of coffee, a fan cast, a Montana or two in there, and more often than not, I end up getting a fish. So it does make a difference when a bit of water's less pressured, you know. Generally a bit of a tough day at Tenterden on this particular session. I tried multiple things on the third lake, the main lake. I moved lots and everything, done all my normal stuff. So it got to about midday and I thought, what's the final thing I haven't done? And that was go and tried the other two lakes. And it just highlights the fact that, you know, you need to try different stuff, and sometimes it really does make the difference. It saved a blank there at the end. I was really happy to get that fish because it was a bit of a almost like a fairy tale catch there, literally within the last 15 minutes of my session. So generally really enjoyed that. I worked really hard for that fish, but sometimes that's that little bit more magical than going there and bagging up straight away. Anyway, dudes, I hope you enjoyed the video. This is Chad. Catch you later.